This line is for government clearance only. That is what the officer said with a smile that felt rehearsed, like he had practiced it to sound polite while still making a point. Emily had been standing there for over 10 minutes, quiet, not cutting in, not saying a word, just existing, and somehow that was already too much. She looked around. Nobody else got questioned. Nobody else got singled out, just her. "I am with the federal government," she said calmly. "Priority status. Cleared for expedited processing." His eyebrow went up, not curious, challenging. "Really now? You are with the government?" "Yes," she said. He chuckled, like she had told a bad joke. "Lots of folks say that to skip the line. I am not skipping," she said. "I am following protocol." He did not check her ID, did not call for verification, just stared at her coat. Her braided hair pulled tight. Her skin. "Ma'am, you cannot just claim you are with the government. This line is for official business. Not for anyone with a story." She paused, took a breath. "I can show credentials." "No need," he snapped. "You folks always have some excuse about who you are." There it was, you folks. Not loud, not mean on the surface, but heavy with history. "You do not belong. You do not look right. Step aside, ma'am." Final warning, someone behind her sighed. A guy muttered, "Just do what he says." Another voice whispered, "What is she trying to prove?" The officer had not checked her papers. Had not spoken like that to the white guy in sandals who breezed through minutes earlier. Emily stayed still. Not because she was fine, because she was thinking. He leaned in. "Unless you have got a magic badge in that bag, move." She opened her coat, reached into a pocket, pulled out a small leather wallet, flipped it open. The badge caught the light. Federal Bureau of Investigation, high clearance, active duty. The officer went quiet. So did the crowd. "I am Agent Emily Harris," she said, voice steady. "You just profiled a federal officer on duty." The terminal went silent, not awkward, heavy, like judgment. Somewhere in that line a phone was already recording. Emily walked past him, no hesitation, badge tucked away like it was nothing, like it had not just exposed him in front of dozens of people, but silence is not peace. As she grabbed her shoes, her laptop, her boarding pass, the ache in her chest stayed sharp. Not because of his words, because this was not new. Different airports, different uniforms, same tone, same doubt. Her skin always spoke louder than her badge. She carried that badge not for power, but because the world kept demanding proof she belonged. By the time she reached her gate, the video was online. A kid had caught it all. From the moment she was stopped to the badge reveal, the clip was short, brutal. Caption read, "Imagine if she did not have that badge." It spread fast. Hundreds of shares, thousands, millions. Emily boarded her flight to DC, headphones in. Head down, her phone buzzed. Friends, colleagues, old classmates, some shocked, some apologizing quietly. She did not reply. She had work to do. This was not the plan. When she landed, a message from her bureau was waiting. "Report to compliance for review. Public exposure requires assessment." No support, no congratulations, just scrutiny. Because to them, it was not about her humiliation. It was about their image. 2 days later, Emily sat across from 2 internal affairs officers. Both stiff, both white. They offered water, asked if she was comfortable, then read from a script about optics and integrity. Never asked how she felt. Asked why she did not de-escalate, why she did not redirect like it was her job to shrink. She answered carefully, every word weighed, knowing they could twist it. Then she signed their report, walked out, not angry, just tired. The next morning, an envelope was on her desk. No name. Inside, a handwritten note. "He did the same to my daughter, said she looked suspicious. Humiliated her in a private room. We had no badge to show. Thank you." That note hit hard. It was not just her. It was a pattern. So Emily filed a request, not a complaint. A review of all civilian reports against Airport Officer Thomas Wilson in the last 5 years. She did not need to call him a racist. She needed the system to show itself. She did not post, did not retweet, just watched every view. Every comment, every news anchor praising her composure, like handling humiliation was a skill. She was not flattered, she was planning. Within 3 days, the video hit 5 million views. A petition started, demanding Thomas Wilson termination for profiling. Activists dug into his record, but Emily was ahead. She had the complaints, the dismissed reviews. The pattern was clear. Most complaints from black or brown travelers, all ignored, no consequences. She found a memo, 6 months old. calling Wilson's strict style a strength. That is how it is hidden, not lies, just words. The media cycled through outrage, curiosity, then moved on. Emily did not. She met a former mentor, now a deputy director, over coffee. Slid him a folder, complaints, memos, patterns. He read slowly. Asked, "Do you want a case?" She said, "I want oversight, an audit, outside the airport control." He warned, "This means visibility. For you too." She looked at him. "Visibility never protected me. Transparency might protect others." He took the folder, promised to push it up. That week, 2 calls. One from HR warning her to slow down, consider implications. The other anonymous, a woman voice. "I worked with Wilson years ago. Saw how he treated black women. I reported it. They transferred me." Each step showed the truth. Thomas Wilson was not just one officer. He was protected by a system built to absorb moments like hers and keep going. But this time the video did not fade. Emily was not waiting for justice. She was building a case. Her file reached a federal oversight board. Then it happened. No press conference, no arrest, just an audit. Homeland Security announced a review of bias complaints in airport security. No names, but everyone knew. The system was moving, not by choice, by force. Emily felt the shift. Quiet messages came from TSA agents, passengers, a father whose son was searched for fitting a profile. None made the news, but all were the same problem. Patterns hidden in paperwork, excused as protocol. One memo from years back mentioned Wilson, suggested a refresher in sensitivity. No follow-up. Another flagged Emily name, advised limited engagement, not accountability, just avoidance. Then a junior analyst requested her file. A month later, it was cited in a Senate briefing on airport disparities. No cameras, just impact. Wilson was quietly placed on leave. His absence noticed. Coworkers whispered. Some called him unlucky. Others said he pushed the wrong one. Nobody named it, but they knew. For Emily, it was not just him. It was every person told to let it go. Every officer afraid to speak. So she joined a task force. Office of Civil Rights and Civil Liberties, reviewing misconduct patterns in transportation. She did not want fame. She wanted records, access, a seat where policies are made, where people like Wilson are shielded by words. It was not fast. No viral moments, just small meetings, low voices. Emily showed up with data, names ignored, reports buried. She pushed for new evaluation standards, a clause to review repeated complaints, even if each was dismissed. She proposed tracking racial demographics in security data, something never done. She fought for training with consequences. Slowly, things moved. Homeland Security issued a memo. New bias review protocol in 3 airports, a pilot program. One of Emily's clauses made it in. No credit given. She did not care. She was building for the girl in that letter. The boy pulled aside, everyone without a badge. Some officers resisted, grumbled about being watched. Others welcomed clarity. For the first time, power had rules. Wilson never returned, filed for early retirement. The airport recruited new supervisors, emphasizing inclusive standards. Bureaucratic words, but a signal, something broke open. Emily did not celebrate, did not make a statement. Accountability is not loud. It is quiet. It is walking through security without being stopped. Not because they know your name, but because nobody has to prove they belong. Emily stayed in her role. No interviews, just the next memo, the next meeting, the next clause. She was not the face of change. She was its foundation. I am standing in an airport line, and a black woman gets stopped. Not for cutting, not for acting suspicious, just for being there. In the next hour, I am going to walk you through a story that is bigger than one moment. It is about what it means to carry your identity in a world that demands proof you belong. Have you ever been asked to step aside, to explain who you are, when nobody else had to? That is what we are diving into today. My name is Mike, and for the past 35 years I have been studying black stories, not just the headlines, the patterns, the moments that do not make the news but shape who we are. This story about Emily Harris, an FBI agent stopped at an airport, is not just about one officer mistake. It is about a system, a history, a truth we have all felt. By the end of this video, you will see why this moment connects to our past, our present, and our fight for the future. You will see how this story is your story. Let us set the stage. Emily's story went viral. A video of her flashing her FBI badge after being profiled. 5 million views in 3 days. But here is what nobody tells you. The badge did not fix it. It did not erase the ache in her chest. It did not change the system that let it happen. We are going to break this down, step by step. From the moment she was stopped to the quiet work she did after. Work that is changing how airports operate. Here is what I am showing you today. Since we will walk through what happened, every detail, every word. Then we will go deeper into the history of profiling in airports, the patterns that repeat, the systems that protect the wrong people. We will look at how Emily turned humiliation into action, how she built change from the inside, and why this matters to every one of us. If you do not see these layers, you are missing the real story, and that is what they want, to keep us focused on the surface. Not today. We are going all the way in. Let us talk about why this hits different. I have been in lines like Emily. Maybe you have too, felt that look, that tone. That moment where you know it is not about your ticket or your bag, it is about you. Our community knows this feeling. It is not just an airport story. It is a grocery store story, a job interview story, a walking down the street story. But here is where it gets interesting. Emily did not just walk away. She used her badge, not to flex, to expose. And that is just the start. I need you to focus. This is not just about one officer, Thomas Wilson, or one airport. It is about a system built to make us prove we belong, every day. Emily's story is a mirror. It shows us where we have been, where we are, and where we can go. But to get there, we need to see the whole picture, the history, the patterns, the quiet work nobody talks about. This next part is going to make you angry, but it is also going to show you hope. Because Emily did not stop at the badge. She kept going. Here is the promise. By the end of this video, you will understand why profiling is not just a personal attack. It is a system. You will see how Emily's fight connects to our grandparents' fight, our parents' fight, our fight. You will see how one woman badge became a tool for change. And you will see why this story is not over. But wait, there is something else. This is not just about what happened. It is about what is still happening, right now, in airports, in our communities. Stay with me. Because this is where it gets real. Let us go back, way back. To understand why Emily's story hits so hard, we need to talk about where it comes from. Profiling is not new. It is not an airport thing. It is a history thing. Let us start in the 1960s, civil rights era. Black folks could not move freely, could not travel without fear. Jim Crow laws meant separate buses, separate trains, separate waiting rooms. You could be stopped, questioned, humiliated just for existing. Sound familiar? Let us connect the dots. That history did not vanish. It changed clothes. In the 1980s, the war on drugs kicked in. Black travelers became targets. DEA profiles, suspicious behavior, loose clothing, paying cash for tickets. Suddenly, our presence was a red flag. By the 1990s, airport security tightened. Post 9/11, it exploded. New rules, new tech, but the same old patterns. Black and brown folks pulled aside, searched, questioned. Data backs this up. A 2003 GAO report found black travelers were 9 times more likely to be searched than white travelers. 9 times. That is not random. That is a system. Here is what nobody tells you. These systems do not just happen, they are built. Policies like stop and frisk started on streets, moved to airports. Words like reasonable suspicion became shields. Officers like Thomas Wilson could stop someone like Emily, call it protocol, and walk away clean, but this goes deeper. It is about power. Who gets to question? Who has to answer? Our community knows this. We have been answering for centuries. Let us talk about the black experience. Travel has always been a battle for us. In the 1930s, the Negro Motorist Green Book listed safe places to stop, because driving while black was dangerous. Today, we do not need a green book, but we still need to calculate, to carry proof. A badge, a degree, a smile, something to say I belong. Emily's badge was her green book, but most of us do not have one. And that is where this story gets personal. Think about your last trip. Did you feel watched? Did you adjust your walk, your tone, your bag? We have all done it. That is the tax we pay, the extra weight we carry. Emily carried it too, but she turned it into something else. Here is where it gets interesting. Her story is not just about one bad day. It is about a fight that started long before her and keeps going. Because the patterns in her story are not new. They are as old as the Middle Passage. Let us look at the numbers. A 2017 ACLU study showed black travelers were 3 times more likely to be flagged for secondary screening. 3 times. In 2023, a Department of Transportation report admitted bias in airport security. Admitted it, but did not change it. That is the system Emily walked into. That is the system we all walk into. And this is the part that broke my heart, because it is not just about Emily. It is about. The kids pulled aside, the elders questioned, the families humiliated, all because of how we look. Here is the cliffhanger. Emily Badge got her through that line, but it did not stop the system. It did not erase the history, so what did she do next? How did one woman take on a machine built to outlast her? You are about to find out, because this is where the story shifts, from a moment to a movement, and it is going to blow your mind. Let us break down what happened, step by step. Emily stood in that line, silent, following rules. The officer, Thomas Wilson, did not see an agent. He saw a black woman. His words, "You folks always have some excuse," were not just rude, they were a script. A script he had used before, a script the system let him use. Emily did not argue, did not raise her voice. She showed her badge, FBI active duty, high clearance. That moment was not just a reveal, it was a mirror, showing everyone what he had done. Let us talk about Emily's character. She is not a superhero, she is us. A black woman doing her job, carrying the weight of expectations. She stayed calm, not because she wanted to, because she had to. Every black person in that line knew why. We have all been there, calculating, measuring, knowing one wrong move could make it worse. Her badge was her shield, but it was also her burden, because she should not have needed it. Here is what nobody tells you about that scene, the crowd reaction. The sighs, the mutters, just do what he says. That is the system too, not just the officer, the people who watch, who stay silent, who let it happen. Emily felt that, the weight of their eyes, their judgment, but she did not flinch. She flipped open that wallet, held that badge, and waited. That pause was power, not loud, not flashy, quiet, like a judge waiting for a verdict. Let us look at the officer, Thomas Wilson. He did not check her ID, did not call for backup. He judged her on sight. That is the subtext, his chuckle, his tone. You are with the government. It was not a question. It was a challenge. He did not see a federal agent. He saw a stereotype. And that is where the story gets real. Because how many times have we been judged before we speak, before we show proof, before we get a chance? Here is where it gets complex. Emily's response was not just about her. It was about every person who has been stopped, every person who did not have a badge. The video caught it all. From the moment he stopped her to the badge reveal. But here is the hidden layer. That video was not just evidence. It was a weapon, a tool. It forced the world to see what we have always known. Profiling is not a mistake. It is a choice. And Emily made them see it. Let us talk about the aftermath. Emily did not celebrate, did not post. She boarded her flight, head down, phone buzzing, friends, colleagues, strangers, all reacting to the video, but she stayed focused. Why? Because she knew the real fight was not in that line, it was in the system behind it. And this is where it gets personal, because we have all had that moment, where we swallow the hurt and keep going. Emily kept going, but not the way you think. Did you catch what just happened? Emily did not just walk away, she started digging. She requested records, complaints against Wilson, 5 years worth. She found patterns, dismissed reports, excuses, strict style. That is what they called it, a strength. That is the system protecting itself, not with lies, with language, and Emily saw through it. This is the part that changes everything, because she did not stop at the badge, she went for the roots. This is where it gets real. Emily's story is not just hers, it is ours. How many times have you been in a line, a store, a meeting, and felt that look, that tone? You know exactly what I am talking about. It is not just an airport. It is the DMV, the bank, the classroom. Our community lives this every day. The extra questions, the extra scrutiny, the extra weight of proving we belong. Let me share something personal. I was at an airport once, Traveling for work, suit on, briefcase in hand, I got pulled aside. Random check, they said, but I saw who walked through, who did not get stopped. I felt that ache. That same ache Emily felt. We have all felt it, that moment where you are not a person. You are a profile. Emily's story resonates because it is our story. It is the Black experience carrying proof, always. Here is why this matters now. In 2025, we are still fighting this. TSA data shows Black travelers are still flagged at higher rates. Social media is full of stories. Videos like Emily, people sharing their moments, their humiliations. It is not just one officer, it is a system, and it is not just airports. It is schools, jobs, streets. This hits different when you understand the context. We are not just fighting for a smoother trip. We are fighting for dignity. Let us talk about the community. That handwritten note Emily got. From a mother, her daughter humiliated. No badge to show. That is us, our parents, our kids, our neighbors. Every time we share these stories, we are building something, a record, a truth. Emily did not post, but others did. That video hit millions because it was not just her moment, it was ours. And this is where it gets emotional because we have all been that mother, that daughter, that person told to step aside. This next part is going to make you angry. The system does not just let this happen, it protects it. Wilson record, full of complaints, all dismissed. Insufficient evidence. No misconduct, that is not a coincidence. That is a design, our community knows this. We have seen it in policing, in hiring, in everything, but here is the hope. Emily did not let it slide, she fought back. Not with a post, with a plan. And that is what we can do too. Let us look at today, right now. Videos like Emily are waking people up. Petitions are starting. Activists are digging, but it is not enough to share. We need to build like Emily did. She requested records, pushed for audits, joined a task force. That is the real story, not the badge, the work. And it connects to us. Because every time we speak up, report, organize, we are doing the same. We are building. This is our lived experience. We know what it is like to be stopped, to be questioned, to carry that weight. Emily's story is a mirror. It shows us the fight is not new, but it also shows us we are not alone. Every comment on that video, every share, every note like that mother, it is proof. We are in this together, and that is the revelation that changes everything. Emily did not just fight for herself. She fought for us, and we can fight too. Here is the truth nobody wants to talk about. Emily's story is not just about profiling. It is about a system that makes us prove we belong. Every day, in every space. And I know some of you watching have felt this. That moment where you are not a person. You are a problem, a risk, a profile. This story reveals something deeper. It is about power, who has it, who does not, and how we take it back. Let us go deeper. Emily Badge did not fix the system, it exposed it. That video did not change the rules. It started a conversation, but Emily did more. She went inside, requested records, pushed for audits, joined a task force. That is the core truth. Change does not come from viral moments. It comes from work. Quiet, relentless work. And that is what our community has always done. We have built. Against the odds, against the systems, we have built. This is where it gets emotional. That note Emily got from a mother about her daughter. That is the why this matters, why we keep fighting, because it is not just about us. It is about the next generation. The kids who do not have badges, the elders who should not have to prove anything. Emily's fight was for them, for the boy strip searched, for the woman transferred for speaking up, for every one of us who has been told to step aside. Here is the hope. Emily did not win a headline, she won a seat. At the table where policies are made, where systems are built, she proposed changes, tracking racial data, reviewing complaints, training with consequences, and some of those changes are happening. Pilot programs, new memos, small steps, but real. That is what empowerment looks like. Not a speech, not a post, a clause in a policy, a rule that protects someone else. This is the part that broke my heart. The system did not thank Emily, it questioned her. Why did she not de-escalate? Why did she not shrink? That is what they always ask us, to be smaller, quieter, less. But Emily said no. She built a case, a folder, a fight. And that is what we can do, every one of us. Speak up, document, organize. It is not easy, it is not loud, but it is power, and it is ours. Let us talk about the future. Emily's story shows us where we have been stopped, questioned, humiliated, but it also shows us where we can go. A world where we do not need badges, where our kids do not need to calculate, where our dignity is not a debate. That is the deeper truth. This fight is not just about airports. It is about every space we enter, every system we challenge, every future we build. Here is the final cliffhanger. Emily's work is not done. Neither is ours. She is still in those meetings, writing those clauses, building those systems, and so are we. Every time we share a story, file a report, demand accountability, we are building. But there is one more piece, one final truth that ties it all together, and it is going to change how you see this story forever. Here is what I want you to take away. Emily's story is not just a viral video. It is a blueprint. It shows us where we have been stopped, questioned, pushed aside. It shows us where we are fighting, building, changing, and it shows us where we can go. A world where we do not need to prove we belong, where our kids walk through any line, any door. Why space and just exist? This deep dive took me weeks to put together because these stories matter. These patterns matter. Your understanding matters. Emily did not stop at the badge. She went deeper, into the system, into the fight. And that is what I am asking you to do. Go deeper. Look at the patterns in your life, your community, your spaces, and do not just see them, change them. Here is the call. Next week I am diving into another story. Another moment where our community turned pain into power. You do not want to miss it. After today, you know why. These stories are not just history, they are our future. If this opened your eyes, if it made you feel seen, hit that subscribe button. Drop a comment. Tell me which part hit you hardest. That note from the mother. Emily Badge, the system silence. I read every comment. I want to know. One last thing. This is our story. Emily fight is our fight. Every time we speak up, share, build, we are moving the needle. Keep digging, keep questioning, keep building, because our stories matter, and so do you. Until next time, stay deep, stay true, stay us.